hello, hello. Welcome to Kernels of Truth, brought to you by Progress Kentucky. We have got an important episode for you this week. We are working hard to rally the troops against the exhausting work of defending our commonwealth against the GOP supermajority. This week, we're touching on the social safety net, libraries, head shops. We've got a heartwarming campaign corner about rescue pets with Ethan Branscombe. And then we're going to close with an update on the war on teachers from good troublemaking guest Nema Brewer, the 120 Strong co-founder. But first, are you ready to help turn Kentucky purple? We all know our Commonwealth has some work to do if we're going to beat back the red wave of bad politics and policy from the GOP supermajority in Frankfort, from bills to block reproductive justice to cutting taxes for the wealthy, while kicking more people off of social safety net benefits. We're going to need your help to make it happen. If you want a Commonwealth that works for all of us, join Progress Kentucky. It's easy. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you spend time on social media. Make sure to just like, share, comment on our content. Help us juice the algorithm so more folks see what we say. And in fact, if you're watching right now, just give us a like. Say like the show, because when you like it, more people see that you like it, and then other people see, oh, I want to see what they like. Oh, that's pretty good. That Aaron guy knows what he's talking about. Not really true, but we really do need to spread the word. And if you're hearing us on the podcast, please do leave us a review. That really does help make sure more people hear the podcast. So let's now check in with the amazing co-host we've got for you this evening. Let us know who you are, where you are, and what does your protest sign say today. You there on the internet, you're not off the hook. You can put it in the comments. If we like what you say, we'll put it on the screen because we have that technology there. So I'm Aaron. I am coming to you from Lexington. I'm in Childsburg, which is a community just on the outskirts, but within the Fayette County growth boundary, just barely. My sign says, rescue pets are the best pets. Listen to Ethan, lawmakers. Let's just got to listen to it. I have not taken the time to actually write out my sign yet. One day I'll do it again. But before you hear from Ethan, let's go ahead and touch base with the rest of our co-hosts. Kimberly, are you there?
I am here. Hurting somewhat, but I am here. I'm going to take my glasses off for a second. I'm Kimberly Cecil Jones, and I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Brave, home of the Kentucky Derby. And tonight, my protest sign says, I hope you guys can see it. It says #teach truth. All history matters.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and Aaron, you look like that guy Mike. You know that director or whatever? And he's all
Mike.
up into politics. What's his name? Mike what? You guys know what I'm talking about, with the dark hair. He's real kind of heavier on the heavier side a little bit.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm talking about? Michael, you all know the director. He did the thing on 9/11 and
yeah.
Somebody help a sister out. Like, y'all know who I'm talking about.
The goofy looking
Let me
guy.
look at these comments.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I don't know who you're talking about, because
No. He's
like.
always like on MSNBC.
Yeah, no, I know exactly who you're talking about.
What's it? Yeah, you look like Michael Moore tonight with that hat on.
With the hat.
Yeah, and that sweatshirt jacket thingy or whatever you do.
Okay.
I love you. You still my brother.
Yeah. Look, I respect Michael Moore on many fronts.
Yeah.
He once bought me lunch. Fun fact. He once bought me lunch in New Hampshire. But I will say this: he might not be the first person I want to be told I look like. Oh, that's my ego speaking. But
okay, I'm just gonna say you know what? You look like Michael Moore's money. How about that?
No. Nice try. Yeah. It's gonna sting for a while. And I don't know when I'll get over it. But when I do, you will notice I'm appreciably warmer to you, Kimberly. That's
Thank you.
It's not gonna be tonight. Moving on. All right, Doug, what do you got for us?
Okay, I just want to say, just right off the top, you can rest assured knowing that sometime when Michael Moore is talking to somebody and they say, who is the most important person you've ever met? It's probably going to say Aaron Biles. My name is Doug Price. I'm from Harrison County, Kentucky. And if you like car shows, the Cynthiana Rod Run is returning to downtown Cynthiana in August 2022. It's a big deal. So come here during that time. And here's what my sign says: Republican legislators, my way or the highway will not work forever.
They're going to test you on that. What I love about Doug is he brings something new every single week. Something new about Cynthiana. I did not know the Rod Run was coming back because I didn't know the Rod Run existed. But very exciting to know that the Rod Run will be happening in August 2022. Head on out there for Cynthiana's now famous Rod Run. All right, so let's move into news of the week. We got some stories we got to cover. We got a jam-packed show. Let's get to it. First one, we're going to talk about HB7. So this is the new attack on the social safety net of our Commonwealth, SNAP, Medicaid. The GOP supermajority's war on the poor of our Commonwealth continues. According to our friends at the Kentucky Center for Economic Policy, HB7 would implement several harsh measures, making it harder to get and keep food assistance through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, and medical assistance through Medicaid. Together, these changes would lead to tens of thousands of Kentuckians losing vital assistance with groceries, medicine, and doctor's bills, largely by tripping them up with added paperwork requirements. This will not only hurt families and grocers, farmers markets, hospitals, pharmacies that serve them, it will also weaken the local economies, particularly in rural Kentucky. And create many new layers of administrative work for the Cabinet for Health and Family Services, slowing down access to all Cabinet for Health and Family Service administered programs like the Child Care Assistance Program. So lots of new rules, lots of new reporting requirements. We got a couple of graphics to kind of put that into context. Nearly 200,000 Kentuckians could lose access to their health care through Medicaid because of these reporting requirements. And really, these are efforts to take away the state's ability to make it easier for people in need to access these services. I think it is terribly shameful. Unfortunately, I think it actually might play well to certain elements of these politicians' base. As folks know, Progress Kentucky has been doing outreach to important swing precincts throughout the Bluegrass, speaking directly with working class voters about how they feel the government should be involved in the economy and how folks think the government has responded to the pandemic. It has really been powerful. It's truly eye-opening to have these conversations. I've met some wonderful folks out in Franklin County, out in Clark County. We've made phone calls to Montgomery County, Woodford. A key takeaway that I've realized is there are a lot of stories and a lot of concern about people gaming the system, right? So folks will acknowledge that the social support programs, either the pandemic or otherwise, have helped people that they know, maybe help themselves. But there is a huge amount of resentment about folks who get assistance who don't deserve it or are perceived to be gaming the system. So as much as this legislation will have a very real, very negative impact on the people who need these services the most, I'm concerned that it actually could be sold to some voters as an effort to keep folks from gaming the system. So this is, I think, problematic on a lot of levels. The most significant being the impact on the people that these systems should serve, but then the fact that these shameless politicians could sell this as something that in fact is doing exactly what some people would like to see them do, which is kick people who don't deserve these programs off of them. Of course, the reality is it's going to affect people who really absolutely need them. There's plenty of things right now to check against people gaming the system. Those absolutely exist already. This is absolutely unnecessary, cumbersome, duplicative, and again, it's going to keep these very important cabinet workers who are overtaxed, who are overwhelmed, undercompensated, more work that they really aren't going to be able to do very well. So, lots of far-reaching impacts of HB7, and one that I'm concerned is going to speed through the legislature if we look at what the tendencies of this GOP supermajority have been so far this session. So, Doug or Kimberly, any thoughts about HB7?
just a quick comment from me. The Republicans are the anti-Robin Hood. They take away from the poor to give to the rich.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we'll touch base a little bit later on, I think, the status of HB 8, which, kind of absolutely is part and parcel with that anti-Robin Hood agenda. How about you, Kimberly?
There's been an assault on supplemental services for decades now, going all the way back to Ronald Reagan when he called those women on supplemental services welfare queens. Society always takes it that is mainly Black and brown people that get these services, but statistics and data has proven that 70% of those that receive these resources all around the country are white. Now, I don't know what these Republicans are actually doing in Frankfort because, most of those that probably support them do get some type of supplemental services. You're talking about taking food from the mouths of their children. You're talking about taking health care away from their children. So I think it's just rhetoric. I think it's just talk. I don't think it's going to go through because it's going to affect too many of the Republican constituency.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kentucky's a poor state. So if you affect the programs that are supposed to help the poor, whoever your political base is, they're going to be affected. We'll see, though. We'll see. I hope that your, skepticism about this bill making its way through the legislature is warranted. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll let folks know as this, session comes to a close where things are with a number of the bills we've been tracking. All right, so we're going to move on to a couple of interesting bills that Doug has been following. Bill, what have you, Bill, Doug with the bills. Tell me about these bills, Doug.
Sure. The first bill I want to highlight is House Bill 480 and a companion bill in the Senate, SB 167. Both bills direct the county judge executive to remove all members of county library boards and reappoint new members. Bills in both houses seem to indicate a coordinated attack. When my wife and I first heard about HB 480, she immediately mentioned that it sounds like they want to be able to control library boards in an effort to censor books that may be held in the library. That was about 2 weeks ago, and it seems this may come to fruition for them. With 120 counties, one would think we might have some diversity among county judge executives. Well, no, not actually. My wife and I spent a little bit of time the other day trying to track that down, and I believe that we have 3 white female judges, 1 Black female judge, and the rest are white males. Currently, there are 70 Republican county judge executives, 47 Democratic judge executives, and 3 independent county judge execs. I have been told that the Republican Party of Harrison County hopes to have Republicans appointed not only to party elected officials, but to all positions, including school board positions. Currently, one of the elected magistrates on the Harrison County Fiscal Court has changed his registration and is running for the county judge exec's position as a Republican. Would a library board controlled by the county judge exec be able to direct the removal of books from libraries? Folks, are we headed for a Republican legislative dictatorship in Kentucky? The next bill that I want to talk about is, I'm going to highlight, it's House Bill 28. This one is making the rounds, and the primary sponsor is Representative Savannah Maddox, along with at least 23 co-sponsors. The act is related to immunization disclosure, and during discussion on the bill in a committee meeting on Tuesday, I heard several legislators point out that this applies only to COVID. COVID is not mentioned in the bill anywhere. Representative Maddox agreed this was the case, but wait a minute, the bill reads immunization status. and that means the status of either having received or not received a vaccination for a vaccine preventable disease or a vaccine granted emergency use authorization by the United States Food and Drug Administration. Will this include many other vaccines? It certainly doesn't delineate. The bill also allows anyone to refuse vaccinations based upon conscientiously held beliefs. Where does this lead us? If I have a conscientiously held belief that I don't have to wear a seatbelt or that I don't have to obey speed laws because of my beliefs, I can smoke in a restaurant, right? I suppose we will learn more about this bill as it moves through the legislative process, but it really is scary right now. What do y'all think? Oh,
I think I wouldn't put it past them to try to control the libraries to ban books. At this point, I really wouldn't. I would hope that they would have better things to do with their time, but I'm not convinced. How about you, Kimberly?
I say the same thing weekly. When it comes to the Republicans, nothing is shocking or surprising anymore. And you're talking about banning certain books and information. So, I mean, like, are we sliding to third base like Russia, where Putin is now wanting to cut the entire country off from the rest of the globe? Are the Republicans here trying to cut Kentuckians out of pertinent knowledge that one would need to operate in this what we call world system? So once again, I don't think that's going to go through. That's going to be a long haul. It could go through maybe the next election cycle if it is predominantly Republicans again. But this is the time, ladies and gentlemen, to primary these people. Get them out. Get them out. You have the right to tell your child or whomever, no, I don't want you to get those type of books. I want you to get this. When you get older, you can read that. But let us have choices. I feel like the Republicans, they want to dictate women's uteruses. They want to dictate what we read, what we see, what we eat, what we do. And they surely want to dictate what's in our bank accounts and how much money we have. So it's not surprising to me at all.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this could be. I don't think banning books is popular. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I think that would be a kind of a bridge too far. But I think it's really critical that those who oppose these policies talk about them in the right way, talk to people about them. This is the thing that really inspires me to do this show every week. We're all volunteer. No one's getting paid to do this. We're doing this because we care about our commonwealth. And the reality of it is, I've been very, I think, informed and inspired by these conversations that I'm having out there in these communities. Working class folks are not paying attention to what's happening in Frankfort. And of course, why would they? It is not like inspiring. It's not, it's just another, like, it's just a wave of, like we say every show, a wave of bad policy and bad politics. Who wants to pay attention to that? So, the folks that we're talking to is that, they don't really trust. They absolutely don't trust corporations. They know that they're not out there doing the best thing for their workers, but they don't really trust the political system to care about them at all either. So it's a lot of just cynicism about the system and how it works. And bills like this, I think, absolutely underscore that cynicism. What we need to do is show folks how they can push back against it, how they can win a campaign against it. And unfortunately, it's hard to show it because right now with this GOP supermajority, they can kind of get away with whatever they want to do. So it does require us to it's a long game, right? Like we got to show people the policies are really bad because the politicians are really bad because we're not voting in the right kind of folks. And that's not, we're a little bit of an immediate gratification society, right? And I think the Amazon Prime memberships have screwed us all up in terms of what's realistic to expect and what kind of timeline. So, the work is upon us. Speaking of unrealistic timelines, we are now going to move to Kimberly's news you need to know.
I had a comment.
Okay.
I had a comment.
All right.
And Your Honor, Judge Moore. I'm sorry, Judge Viles.
So
Um,
on my
I
list.
need to say this really quickly. When I was young, I was treated as a child by my mother, my father, and my grandparents. But now that I'm an adult, I make my own decisions. And that's the type of mentality that all of us need to keep as we go through this horrific, trifling, yes, I said it, trifling regime right here in our own backyards in Kentucky. So you are an adult, you have a voice, it will be documented, and everyone do something about it. I don't need anybody telling me what I can read and what I can't read. I really don't. So I'm ready now for my under 5.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's gonna be under 4. Judge Moore has got some new rules here. I don't know.
Oh man.
All right, let's hear what you got. I know you got some important stories. I've seen them. I want to hear them. Doug, do you have the timer?
Yes, I have the timer.
All right, let's get to it.
Well, actually, first on the agenda, why does it say 1 minute or something already? Show it. Show it, Dougie Fresh. Show that. I saw 1 minute and something. See? Oh, start again. Okay, I'm ready. Aaron, why are you looking at me like that? Okay. Number 1, Delta 8, as I always talk about, Delta 8 is currently allowed, but how long? It is up for debate, and this advances in the Senate here in Kentucky, trying to ban intoxicating Delta 8. I wouldn't call it so much intoxicating. I would just say mood elevating Delta 8. And it is 100% hemp hybrid derived from hemp. So, according to the Farmers Bill of 2018, hemp is allowed in all 50 states. So I'm going to be the leader of making sure that Delta 8 remains legal in Kentucky. Now, we always get embarrassed in Kentucky. People say, "Where are you from?" I'm like, in the Midwest, kind of South. Thomas Massey was one of 3 members of Congress to vote standing with Ukraine, affirming his long-term affair with Putin. I mean, are you surprised? I use that word a lot, but I'm not. Like, wow, yeah, that sounds about right with Thomas Massey. And also with Rand Paul, the things that he does as well. And, Rand Paul was one of the 10 Republicans willing to hold up U.S. support to Ukraine and funding our own government in order to rail against federal COVID testing and vaccine mandates. So we know what I'm not going to say the word, but I'm going to say what a Rand Paul and Thomas Massey are. Quick update, though, on a bill that we covered last week. That was House Bill 8, the bill to ultimately get rid of the state income tax. After the bill cleared the full House on the strength of the GOP support, the economic impact was released. The bill would punch a $900 million hole in the state's budget for a 2-year period. We can't afford that, you guys. We can't. Clearly, this bill is an effort to force massive spending cuts. $900 million is as much as the state spends on higher education annually. So with my last remaining 15 seconds, I will just say this. The Republicans at Frankfort, I think they want to keep us sick, uneducated, and ready to just, and for all of us to be divided against one another. So that's just Kimberly's take on it. Back to you, Aaron.
All right, and Doug, what was the time? How does she do it, folks? How does she do it? Such important news, so much news, such little time. All right, we're going to move on to Campaign Corner, which is one of my favorite segments, where we bring someone else on to talk about what they're working on, what they want to do for a better state and a more compassionate commonwealth. And so today we are absolutely honored to have with us Ethan Branscombe. Ethan Branscombe has been working for a number of years, folks. He's been working for years to ensure that our state makes rescue pets the official pet of the Commonwealth. Ethan Branscombe, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Awesome. So I said you've been working for years to make Rescue Pets the official pet of our Commonwealth. How is that humanly possible that you've been working for years on something when you were clearly not very many years on this earth?
Well, I just want these animals to get homes. That's pretty much my dedication. I just want these animals to get the homes.
All right. And so what would you got a piece of legislation that you've been working on, is that right?
Yeah.
And how's that fight going for you?
Thus far we have not got our House bill assigned to a committee, and our Senate bill is stalling.
All right. And so, what inspired you to like pick up this cause and think about an actual state law in support of rescue pets?
Well, I had seen that Ohio had made rescue pets their state pet, so I thought this would be kind of good for Kentucky and help get these animals adopted.
Awesome. And so you saw that Ohio had done it. Obviously, if Ohio can do it, heck, Kentucky can do it too. And what did you find when you approached legislators about this?
Yeah, I actually found that it kind of stalled, but also went pretty good.
Yeah, you found some folks who are willing to kind of champion the issue for you?
Yeah, the first year we got through the House with flying colors, actually. So we know in the House we've got a lot of support. Literally only 2 people voted against it.
Well, that's awesome. So it stalled out in the Senate.
Yeah.
And that was the first year. So you passed the House, stalled in the Senate. You come back the next year. What happened?
The next year, it made through the House again.
Again.
But died in the Senate.
What is wrong with these senators? Have they no hearts? No idea. You're not sure. You're not gonna. Yeah, they might be watching. Don't say it. All right. And so, what's your strategy? How are we gonna get this bill done this year?
Well, this year I think we're gonna try and do coordinated efforts. Like I believe it was March 8th that we're going to have Animal Action Day, where we're going to ask everybody to call the legislative line.
On March 8th.
Yeah.
Write it in your calendars, folks. Wait a minute. What's today?
March 18th. Yeah.
18th. That's better. It's better to have the day in the future than in the past. Yeah, you'll get far better engagement there. All right. So 18th, folks, write it in your calendar so we can call and make this happen. If folks don't know the legislative comment line, what's the matter with you? I mean, people, come on. If you've been watching this show, you know that we're going to ask you each and every episode to make calls on some bills. This is a really good bill to make a call on. Are there numbers? Do you have numbers for us with the bill numbers?
Yeah. SB 72 and HB 100.
All right. Say that one more time.
HB 100 and SB 72.
Wonderful. All right. Everyone got that? Make the phone calls, people. They need to hear from you. Rescue pets. Who's against rescue pets? Those heartless folks in the Senate, apparently, who, apparently they just like purebred pets. I don't get it. All right. So there's the number in case you're looking for it. It's 1-800-372-7181. And like I say, every time I ask you to make the phone call, they are the nicest people in the Commonwealth. They are clearly not actual senators you're talking to. But on March 18th, make the phone call. Tell them that you support rescue pets, HB 100, SB 72. You're on Team Ethan, and you want to make sure that these pets are find homes, right? Forever homes.
Thank you. That would be great.
Awesome. How many rescue pets do you have in your house?
2. One actually is really rescued, as in we rescued it. Well, my mom and dad, because I wasn't born yet, rescued a dog from the side of the road that had been dumped by somebody. They found her on the 4th of July, so she's named Liberty Bell.
Oh my word. That's a good story.
Yeah, she's actually the most obedient one in our house. Hank is not super obedient. He's definitely the most loving dog. Well, they're both really loving, but he's a very nice, loyal dog. He likes to chew paper towels up.
Oh, that's always fun. No, wait, that's never fun, is what that is. That's never fun. Fun for the dog, not fun for you. All right, so
Yeah.
some folks are asking about your shirt, Ethan. Can you show us your shirt?
Yeah.
Ethan's Rescue Pet Project. Oh my gosh. Is that Liberty Bell or who is that on the shirt?
That's actually just a dog and a cat.
All right. How do we get that? Can we get these shirts? Are they available? Can people buy them?
Yeah.
Awesome. Where?
You can get them on my page.
All right. I think we've shared the page on the screen. If we haven't, let's do that. Make sure we'll put in the run of show notes so everyone can find that and click on it. Maybe Annabelle can pull it up right now. Maybe Nate can put it in a comment. I don't know. But that's awesome, Ethan. Thank you for working to make our Commonwealth more compassionate. We appreciate the work that you're doing. I hope the Senate will, their hearts will melt and they'll actually move forward with this bill. And yeah, good luck with the effort. Okay.
Thank you.
No,
Sounds
thank
great.
you. And I think we've wrapped it up before bedtime. That's fantastic. Have a great night, Ethan.
You too. Bye.
All right, that was Campaign Corner, the most heartwarming campaign corner we've ever had by far. I was pretty inspired when we had the Kentucky Student Voice team. They were pretty awesome, but man, they were like really old compared to Ethan. So that's wonderful. All right, we're gonna move on quick to our interview because we are running a little bit late because we have a jam-packed show. So now we're gonna bring on Nema Brewer, who is the co-founder of 120 Strong, in the verbiage of the great John Lewis. Nema is an amazing good trouble maker, and Nema has more power to her. She has paid a lot of attention to what's going on with the legislature and their war on teachers. I think it really is an absolute the number of bills, the volume of bills that they are pushing forward and how they would affect the teaching profession really is staggering. So we want to get an update from Nema. Nema, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it. And can I just first of all say that there should be no other example of what's wrong in Frankfort in the fact that Ethan has had to fight this hard to get rescue dogs and rescue animals made the state pet. I mean, if this doesn't show you just the filth and trash that they are working on daily, that this is it's not hard, but yet, here we are. And so I always say the Senate is where everything good goes to die a painful, painful death. And so, I think everybody should get behind Ethan's bill. It's ridiculous. It's actually pathetic and sad. But anyway, that's that. That's my plug for Ethan's bill.
On to more pathetic and sad things. Let's.
Yeah, I mean, 4 years ago, there were a bunch of us that were basically just happy living our lives and paying our taxes and doing our thing. And, we started paying close attention to our pensions. I'm not a teacher, which is shocking to a lot of people. But I am in the teacher retirement system. So their money is my money. And, growing up, I was always told you don't mess with family and you don't mess with somebody's money. And so anytime you do either or, there's a fight on your hands. And so, we were just watching this 4 years ago and a bunch of us were like, what are we going to do? And so what we did was we formed this secret grassroots group. About 42,000 at the time joined. And we just shut down the state. And we shut down 30 districts first off the bat. And nobody knew who we were, where we came from. Well, some people did, and they weren't real happy about it. But, it just needed to be done. And hell, it could need to be done again. Who knows at this point. But what we're really fighting right now, there's two really nasty, nasty bills. HB 9 is the charter school bill. And, I think what's happened in Kentucky, because, I'm in Fayette. And so a lot of times we see that people assume that these bills will only affect Fayette or Jefferson. And so all the other counties are more than happy just to kind of ignore them. because it doesn't affect them. Well, this time it's going to affect us all. And it's probably going to affect the rural counties a lot more, and a lot deeper cuts, a lot more issues there, because, charter schools can be online and they don't need brick and mortar buildings, and they can come in and swoop down and take, students, which in turn, the way the SEEK formula is, we are funded by the number of students we serve. That's how we staff, but we still have to pay all the bills, all the electricity. You don't just get to cut off half the building because you've only got half the building full. And so it's really going to put a bunch of our rural counties, I would say the majority of them, in a really bad bind. And I don't think that people understand that outside of the blue bubbles, right? And so, this isn't just about Fayette and Jefferson. It's about us all. And it really will change the face of public education as we know it in Kentucky. Some might argue that's a good thing. But I say, why not fund us the way it needs to be funded? Why not invest in our people? But instead, what they're doing in Frankfort is they're kicking our people in the teeth on a daily basis. It's like these attacks are just nasty, and it's petty, it's gross, and they know exactly what they're doing. And I'll tell you what really the thing is your public school is your community. And, a lot of people don't think about that, but we're the places you vote. We're the places where they have town meetings a lot of times. And every Friday night during the fall, we are the source of pride in these small communities. And even you see it in basketball. We are the epicenter. We feed your kids. We clothe your kids. We give health care to your kids. And we serve all kids. And see, that's the thing. A lot of people think that public education is just about their kid. No. It's all kids. So, and it's what is best for the whole. But what we've seen in this country over the last several years, and you all know, is that we've become a very self-centered, me country who doesn't think about the community as a whole. It's just whatever I want. We see people like Representative Jerry Miller, getting on Twitter and complaining because he couldn't get a chicken plank one day. Well, because of the worker shortage. Well, boo-hoo, Jerry. Boo-hoo. Go get something else to eat. Or how about this? Make yourself a sandwich. I mean, it's just this constant self-centeredness. And this is why we've got to where we are right now. And make no mistake, this was a targeted attack. And an attack that was funded by big, dark money and has been spreading all over this country like a cancer. And, and Kentucky's no different. And we see it. We know it's here. But we have been ill prepared to stop it. And especially because a lot of people, especially in the 120, thought we got rid of Bevan, we're fine. No. And we're not going to be fine until we level this playing field within the House and the Senate. And that's how real government should work. It should be both sides that are coming together for consensus. But what we have here is we just have a free-for-all of some nasty, nasty bills. So that's HB 9, and we're really pushing hard against it because it's not good for Kentucky. It's not.
Right. And then it seems like there's a number of really challenging bills. I think, the charter school bill obviously can suck away funding. Even if you look at things like, HB 8, that could, defund the state and, the funds that are made available for primary education would be cut. And then, of course, we've got the teacher gag bills. Those have gotten a lot of attention. We had folks on from the student Kentucky Student Voice team to talk about those gag bills. And then also SB 1, which changes the decision, kind of the curriculum authority and in schools and who gets to make the decision about what's being taught in schools. It really is. I wasn't joking around. It feels like a war on teachers. There's just so much happening right now in the State House that does not make a teacher's life easier. It only makes it harder, and ultimately seems like the direction they're going is to make public education, weaker and weaker and less compelling. They keep talking about how their number one priority is jobs and businesses coming in, and they want people to come into the state. What's not going to bring folks into the state is a crappy, crummy education system. You need to have good workers to work in your plants. And if people aren't getting educated, how in the heck are you going to have a good worker?
Well, that's the thing. You can't. And this has been, I've been following this mess closely now for about 5 years, something like that. I first started paying attention with the right to work bill in Frankfort. And my dad was a coal miner, a United Mine worker. And so I had gone to DC. He was ill and could not go. I had gone for his pension and his health care benefits, and that Mitch McConnell was holding up conveniently until election year. And so, I kind of started paying attention then. And the more that you see and the more that you watch, I'm amazed at how contradictory this entire session has been. Like, you have, HB 8, and you have, this bill where they're saying, we're going to throw people off the rolls, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And then you turn around and they're like, oh, but you know what? We really should help mental health. Are you kidding me? Like, what are we doing? Like, it's just one big circular firing squad there all the time. And it's like SB 8, which is a bill that would kind of overhaul the foster care system. And I think it's a decent little bill, right? But you've got this, and then you've got somebody in the House that files a bill that would make it legal to sue social workers, like personally. So what are we doing? We're the worst state for child abuse. And, you've got, oh, well, look at this pretty bill. But then you've got this horrific bill that's its counterpart. And it's almost like that, I used to say that they used to say stuff that, they would gaslight you, but it would be like stretched out over like 6 months. So they would hope you would forget it. But now it's like 6 minutes. One of them will say one thing, and the next thing you know, they're saying something completely different. And you're like, wait a minute, just like the whole local control situation. Never in my life have I seen a bigger cluster than the whole local control argument. Because here's what they're doing as far as teacher, raises. And when I say teachers, I mean all public school staff. We've got people who are making nothing that are serving your kids breakfast every morning. They're working for their health insurance. And you're sitting here and you're telling me that you're going to give all these people mandatory raises, but yet local control for public school employees. It's up to their districts. Now, keep in mind, they're districts who are not getting their transportation fully funded. They're districts that are not getting professional development fully funded. So again, it's this whole big rigmarole. Local control is only good when it's their control.
Yeah.
And when it's not, then, they got to have the government. I've never seen a bigger bunch of Republicans who are big government like I have. These people sitting here right now. Well, hell, they tried to pass a bill that would tell private businesses they couldn't make their employees get vaccinated. Now, when have you ever seen a Republican try to get up in a business's business? It just doesn't happen. But it does this year.
Seems like there's a fair amount of hypocrisy, right? That local control argument is great when it goes your way, right? And of course now they're like, oh, we kicked the mask issue. You couldn't have a statewide mask mandate. We put it down to the local decision makers to make that determination. Oh, now a lot of people are too many of those local decision makers are saying we should have masks, so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of all mask mandates. It just seems like we're shooting ourselves in the foot. It does seem like it's not long-term thinking. But again, these are the folks we've elected, right? So if we don't like what we're seeing from Frankfort, and we shouldn't just keep our eyes closed to avoid seeing it. We got to put better folks in office. And those are my words. I don't ascribe them to any of our guests. I know sometimes people are don't want to get into the politics of it, but the reality of it is these guys are doing what, I think they set out to do. People just didn't ask enough questions before they sent them to Frankfort. But hey, don't worry about it, because they're giving themselves raises too. So,
well, and that's the thing. And I would say, if you would have said in a campaign flyer, an ad, a mailer, hey, I'm going to take your unemployment insurance and cut it from 26 weeks to 12 weeks. Then I'm going to take control of your school's curriculum. Oh, and you know what else I'm going to do? I'm also going to take away about 200,000 to 300,000 people's SNAP benefits and blah, blah, blah. You should vote for me. I wonder, would people actually do it? Because, but that's what they're doing, and the thing is that we're in such a toxic environment that, people just buy into whatever soundbite they can hold on to. And they're not really paying attention to the real issues, as Andy used to say, what is the kitchen table issues, things that affect your pocketbook and things that affect your job. And it's maddening to watch. But here's the thing. I think that's the point. I think the point has been to tire out public education folks to the point where they don't have the energy to fight. It's just like Kimberly said. They want to keep us sick. They want to keep us tired. They want to keep us hungry. And then we turn on each other, because we don't have the will to fight anymore. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot,
Yeah. I think, or at a minimum, maybe they want to just get you to quit paying attention to them, right? If they just keep throwing this horrible stuff at you, where you have to watch every single day, and you see that, ultimately, at least in this session, we haven't been able to block that many things, right? So they're able to kind of get away with what they want to get away with. It is very disheartening to watch that process, right? So it's like, oh, I guess I'm gonna just tune out again, because there's always something more entertaining, certainly more entertaining than watching the legislature on your computer or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a really good point. And we need to rally the troops as much as possible, but we also need to hold these guys accountable. The folks who are voting this way, they got to come back to their district, right? And they got to get reelected, and we got to hold them to account for what they've done while they were in Frankfort.
Well, the sad thing is the people that are primarying these Republicans are lunatics. And, I'm just going to be honest, they're crazy. They're even crazier than the ones that are in office. And so you're sitting there thinking, well, it's, who do you pick? And so, Democrats have got to do a better job of throwing our names in the ring and saying, hey, you know what? I might get the crap beat out of me, but I'm at least going to run. We've got to do a better job. We've got to unite. There's too much. My dad always says, talks about Ronald Reagan, says Republicans never speak ill of other Republicans, but you see us all fighting all the time, all over this or that or this or that. We can fight over ideas and all this other stuff. Excuse me. But when it all comes down, get in line. Let's hold the line together, and let's, quit playing these games. But there's too many people that's always trying to, do all this stuff. It's frustrating, and it's frustrating to watch. And, we're in a world of hurt in Kentucky. I'm going to tell you, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I hope she gets the hell up out of here as soon as she gets out of school, because this is no place for a woman. This is no place for a black woman, a black person. This is no place for a trans woman or a trans man. And, that's sad. That is sad, because I love Kentucky. I've been here my whole life. Never wanted to go anywhere else. But you know what? This is not the Kentucky that I love and knew. When I was growing up, you took care of each other. You watched out for each other, and you didn't put up with this foolishness. But now it's like I've said for a while, Kentuckians have forgotten what it's like to be a Kentuckian. Fighting spirit, very pro-union, all this kind of stuff. And now, we're a shell of ourselves. I mean, it's embarrassing, sideways embarrassing.
Yeah, I hear you. And Kurt, we had Silas House on a few months back, and he kind of talked about that idea of that common good and where has it gone? This Commonwealth was truly compassionate to one another and took care of their community. And I think you nailed it, Nema. There's not a single unionized mine left in Kentucky, right? That idea that, we were a union state and we fought for workers, that's long gone. My father-in-law who, retired with a great pension, gold-plated medical insurance because of the UAW, got his head full of Fox News and now votes for Republicans. It's just this, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. How people get disconnected and turned around. There's a lot of, one of the reasons we started doing the shows, we got to tell people what's happening, in Frankfort day in and day out. Thankfully this is not a year round session, because that would be
well, they want it to be. And let's just keep that real. They
That's
want
true.
to give themselves the authority. That's the other thing that they're doing. They're just power grabbing. I mean, they want to be the ones to approve every board member in the state of Kentucky. You know how many people that is? As far as all these different boards and stuff that we've got in the state.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking 300, 400, however many people. They want to approve every single one of them.
Yeah.
They're giving power to the ag commissioner what does he do? And it's just disgusting how they've just become. And I'll tell you what, I've talked to some folks who have left the legislature and were Republicans, and they are completely mortified. They've said, Nema, I thought we would be better. Come on, give me a break. That was a nice dream to have, but power corrupts. And they are on a power trip like you would not believe. And it is disgusting. I mean, I've said for a while, you all probably seen me say it. If I was Andy, I'd just get drunk and ride a big wheel around the Capitol and laugh in flip-flops and let my hair grow out, because they've taken just about everything away from him. Except the mansion. That's probably next. They're probably going to give that to Stivers. Why not? He lives there anyway.
I will say this for Andy's benefit. Thank God that Biden and the folks in DC got the American Rescue Plan money through, because Andy's been able to give out some awfully big checks to communities that absolutely need it. We had the folks from Martin County on last week talking about how much of a need there is in their community for water systems. And thankfully, kind of Andy recognized that there's a lot of communities around the Commonwealth that need better water systems, that need the broadband, that need the infrastructure. And this American Rescue Act funds, which is not even the bipartisan infrastructure law, which is a boatload of more money that will be coming. So, and thankfully, Andy will be able to deliver a bunch of that, which is wonderful. But
yeah, but people still bitch about that. Who's going to pay for it? This state's so bad right now that you could give them all a free Cadillac and they'd bitch about the color. That's just, that's just the truth. And, I've never seen anything like it. It's very frustrating. And I don't know, it makes you insane to watch all this stuff happen. Ain't nobody happy watching Frankfort doing anything. But it's a necessity if we're going to survive. And people need to realize that. And I've said for a long time, people say I don't do politics. Well, that's fine, because they're doing you. So either or, you at least pay attention, because they bank on you not paying attention. And it doesn't take much. I mean, you can look at website, Facebook pages like your guys. You can watch what's going on the news, even for 15, 20 minutes. You can look at the paper, even the free, articles they get. I mean, it's not hard, but we've become so desensitized and so frustrated that we've just let them ramrod right over top of us.
Yeah. Amen. Lots of work to do for sure. We're glad of your work. I want to see if my co-hosts have any questions for you before we need to wrap up the show. Doug, Kimberly, you got something you want to ask Nema?
Well, right on.
I just want to I'm going to ask you a tough question. No, I just want to make a comment. I follow your tweets and all that, and I really appreciate all the work that you do. We need more people like you. We need more people like Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
We just need more people who are watching what is going on, as opposed to I don't know, going to the grocery store or the local beer hall or whatever and complaining about the way things are, because they're going to be this way unless we come together as a commonwealth and work against this conservative movement that we have in Kentucky.
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely. Kimberly, any final thoughts you want to add in?
Mm-hmm, most definitely. First of all, Doug, I don't think it's a conservative movement. I think it is a demonic Darth Vader type of movement. I applaud Nema for being vocal, for being compassionate, and being passionate enough about these issues, because we have never seen anything like this in Kentucky. And I will say this, she was spot on. The last, well, I'm going to just say the last straw on the camel's back, so to speak. But it's so true. When you are not a white man in Kentucky, the stakes are higher. It's hard. It's hard smiling all the time when you know that 75% of your legislators don't give a damn about you. They don't care if you eat. They don't care if you die. They don't care about your kids. And
Nope.
as far as crime is concerned, they're probably saying let them go and kill themselves. Because if we can find bin Laden, we can surely find out where all the guns are coming from. So I just applaud Nema, and she's my type of girl. Let me tell you, she just says it like how it is. I love it. I love it. And I give her a 10.
Well, I think you're pretty incredible too. I enjoyed your spot, your 3 minutes. That was a lot going into the 3 minutes. But I'm telling you guys, you know what? I
Wait a
honestly,
minute. Hold on, Nema. Did you all hear what Nema said? I'm going by her time. She said 3 minutes. I just want to put that out there for the record.
It was
There we
well
go.
under 5. For the record, I did not, it was well under 5. You did
you
an
killed it.
amazing
Nema,
job.
you got to look at us every week. We do this every week about my Delta 8 because I do, puff puff and I don't pass, and about my time.
Well, I think every head shop in the state should be raising Cain about that. And but again, where are they? It's so funny to me, and I say this, Superman is not coming. He's not. We are our own Superman. And until we strap on that cape and head out there and put ourselves out there, it's not going to change. And it's hard being out there. But the thing is nothing. It is all on the line, y'all. All of it's on the line. And working people have got to stand together and quit all this foolishness bickering about this and this and this, because we're getting crushed completely. And again, I go back, to what Kimberly, if you are not a white man in this state, and no offense to Aaron or Doug, but I'm going to tell you right now, you've got a hard road to hoe. And better believe it. And they're not going to stop. They are not going to stop until we are all on our knees. Every one of us.
Amen.
So we got to get together.
We can't stop. We won't stop. We're going to keep doing this show. But most importantly, we're going to use this show to tell folks, here's what's happening right now, and you got to get engaged. You heard about a number of bills tonight. I hope everyone has the legislative comment line, in their phone, ready to go. We got to make those calls. I know it's it feels like it's not enough, and it's not enough, but it's what we got. And you got to show up when groups are organizing you to get there. Show your face. The reason that 120 Strong was able to do what they did historically to stop the horrible efforts to cut pensions is because they showed up and would not be ignored. And unfortunately, with this current crew, in charge in the circus, you got to show up. You can't just call them politely. But calls matter. the calls are better than nothing. But checking out is not an option if you want this Commonwealth to get any better, because the way they're going, they are driving it into the ditch right now.
Well, I just want to add one more thing before we have to go. Today I sat there and watched them sign the NLI bill, and every elected that could get their face right next to Coach Cal was right up in there. Every single one of them. I've never seen the bill go so fast through before in my entire life. And I kept thinking to myself, imagine the folks that have been advocating for medical marijuana for God only knows how long. Imagine people like us that have been just asking you to get your hands around our throats. Let us breathe for a second, for God's sakes. But you know what? They broke their necks to pass that bill. And I'm going to tell you, if I was an elite athlete looking at Kentucky, I wouldn't come here for the same reasons I said earlier. I'd be looking at it going, you passing a CRT bill? You hate, anything that's not like you. I'm not coming there to play. I wouldn't want Kentucky on my chest. It's an embarrassment. And I'll tell you what, I'd love to see some athletes boycott and say, we ain't coming there. Maybe then people would start changing their minds. Because apparently all we care about is basketball.
I think they're all going to come to U of L. I'm sorry.
Still in the same state. It's still in the same state. The same crew is running the show.
They not, we don't even have a real coach yet. So, nobody's taking pictures with the Republicans at University of Louisville.
I mean, listen.
Alma mater.
Whatever it takes to get it done.
L's up forever.
Yeah. So anyway, it just pisses you off. If you can pass a bill like that, lickety split, to help student athletes, but what are you doing to help students?
Amen. All right. So Nema, I just want to say thanks. You've got an open invitation. You're welcome here anytime. But we do need to close out our show.
Yep. Let's do it.
Thank you so much for sharing your views, your perspectives, your colorful stories, and you've got a way with words, that's for sure. So we got a couple things we're asking folks to take advantage of, which is an opportunity to get involved, right? Our call to action and events calendar. We need you. I've mentioned a couple times this show, we are not messing around. We're going to make our state more politically engaged. We're going to win more progressive representation. We've got a plan to do it, but we need you to kick in some time and energy. We have got some canvassing happening. We're going to be calling or knocking on doors in critical swing precincts to figure out the right way to get disengaged Democrats and independents engaged. All the things we just talked about, right? About how to make our state better. It comes down to voting better people in. That means we need to get those voters motivated. You can sign up. Just shoot an email to info@progressky.org, and we can hook you up with the calling or the canvassing we're going to be doing. We're looking at the weather. It very well could be awfully cold. So we're going to think about the right way to do this to make sure everyone is, comfortable out there taking advantage of this opportunity. So a few other things that are happening. KFTC and Hood to the Holler are doing a voter rights issue introduction webinar on the 22nd of March. Of course, that's a few days after the 18th of March. What's happening on the 18th of March, everybody? We're calling for animals. We're calling for rescue pets. That's and then beyond that, I think there are a few other activities we'll throw into the run of show so everyone can see them, or our show notes. But here, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw the close to the show to my dear friend Kimberly.
Thank you. I think Nema needs to come back next week. My God, that girl is awesome. Okay, and Ethan, oh, he was so precious. Oh, he's such a precious. He has that heart as young as he is. And if they could just see his heart, they would make rescue animals, the rescue dogs of the state dog. But, we're coming back next week. Yes. And I won't be looking like this. Judge Viles made me get on here quickly. I was coming from the doctor in a bad automobile accident last week. But, I love you guys, so I make the sacrifice. Let me do the disclaimer first. Progress Kentucky is a nonprofit organization registered with the Kentucky Secretary of State. Organized as a 501c4, is affiliated with the Indivisible Project and the Commonwealth Alliance Voter Engagement, known as CAVE. Progress Kentucky's goal is to educate, organize, increase voter turnout, and advance a progressive agenda through civic engagement. Some graphic content was provided by Couchfire Media, and you can see more of their work at couchfiremedia.com. Also, I would be amiss if I did not give all the accolades to my sister in the fight for democracy, our own Miss Annabelle Nagel, our social media chair. She just does a great job every week, and I just love to just tell her every week how wonderful she is. Now, to let you know, the Jones Report is coming back this Sunday. Yes, 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 yes. And it's going to be a doozy. So you do not want to miss it. We'll probably put some information on this page as well. Be looking out for exactly what time it's going to be coming on. We're going to be giving out some prizes and different things like that. So you want to win some money, you want to win some prizes, you better be watching the Jones Report. Also, thank you, Nate. I like to call him Nate Dog. For the song that you hear every week, you can hear more of his songs on natosongs.com, N-A-T-O songs.com. And if you miss our weekly live stream, do not fret, my pet. You can go back on our Facebook page and see that. Also, we're on Instagram, I was going to say Tutor, I meant Twitter and YouTube. And also, if you don't want to look at Judge Aaron Viles or Dougie Fresh or Nate Dogg, and I know you all always want to see me, but anyway, you can always listen to us audio style on anywhere that you listen to your podcast. I guarantee you'll find it. So we've had a great time tonight. This was such a heartwarming, just spectacular special show tonight. We ran a little bit over because it was so many important things to talk about. We hope that you were able to retain some of the stuff. Put in the comments what you were taking away from the show tonight. We'd like to know. Let us know how you feel about the show. It always helps us to do better or do more of what you like. So until then, thank you to the best host this side of the Mississippi, besides myself, of course. That would be Aaron Viles. Dougie Fresh always has the information. And to our moderators tonight, Mr. Nate Orshan on the comment section. And until next week, we'll be here, same bat channel, same time, and do something nice for somebody this week. Doesn't cost you much just to say hi. Pick up the phone, make a phone call to someone. Leave the texting and the emails alone for a second. We need the human voice and touch. We've been locked up for so long. So until then, everybody, have a good week. See you then next week.
Do you follow politics? Of course you do. That's why you're watching this video. So I invite you to add Forward Kentucky to your politics sources. Forward Kentucky is an organization devoted to covering Kentucky politics, policy, and politicians. Our tagline is objective news, effective policy, and progressive commentary. We've got lots of ways for you to keep up, from the website itself, to our podcasts, to our posts on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Reddit, to our YouTube and TikTok channels. And we've got a newsletter you can get for free. Just go to forwardky.com to learn more and to sign up. Forward Kentucky, the progressive voice for Kentucky politics.